Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How are you doing? I know those greetings sound like those ones in primary school where our teachers would greet us, boys and girls. Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, yeah, we remain boys and girls, by the way. Nothing much has changed. Yeah, okay. So now, I hope you're good this morning, and I hope that you're blessed. Guys, if it's your first time to be here, karibu sana, 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 and kindly remember to hit that subscribe button and like, share, comment on every video. Yeah, I love comments, yeah? So just put something down there so that I can know that I'm talking to somebody. And if you're a person who has been here, kindly, you're welcome. Yeah, all those kisses go to you. Yeah, now welcome aboard. Let's get down with it. Yeah, growing up in the village, let me remind you that I am a village girl. And growing up in the village and not being conversant with a lot of things, and my mom being there and actually not telling me a lot of things about being a girl and growing up to be adolescent, in that, those levels of you're becoming 12, 13, 14, and not being told that I should expect this and this to happen to me. And I believe even what we learned in school in that village place was not really, fair enough. Like, I wasn't very conversant with what the teachers were teaching us, or I don't know, maybe I was naive and what have you. So, the point that I'm driving to is the point where I started my menses. And just like any other girl in the village, I think I had a lot of challenges and a lot of problems, though they didn't last for long because after some time I went to high school and everything was okay. So you don't even want to know what I went through because I could not approach my mom to tell her, by the way, mom, I have menses. So what am I going to do about it? What am I mean, are you going to buy me pads and what have you? And it was very hard for me to to deal with it. And anyway, I sorted myself out until I went to high school, where I could get now my pocket money, and I would do my shopping. I would buy whatever it is that I needed. Yeah, and I think all people in the village, and especially if you don't have a mother who is telling you these things, it becomes very hard for a child to approach their mother and ask them about all these things. But if a mother can be open to the girl child and tell them, by the way, when you get to this stage of life, just let me know, and then we can know what we're going to do about it. Or mothers nowadays actually, actually, what they do is that they buy pads when they see their girl child is at 12 years or 13. They buy pads and then they give to them. And then they tell them, the moment you finish them, just come to me or just tell me so that I can buy another packet. And therefore now then the mother is able to know that now the child now is going through that. And therefore every month they would buy a packet or two and give to the girl. So when I was growing up, there was nothing like that. And I hope at least today, because now the social media can spread this, can spread this to people. Now we know. And if you're having a girl child there, just do the needful. When you see them, when they reach 12, when they get to 13, make sure that they have a packet, give to them. And now that opens up the relationship and even the talk. The girl can approach you, and even you can be easy. I mean, you can feel easy. It's free. You become free with each other and you can discuss these issues. Yeah, so that was my story, but this is not the story for now. That was just a by the way. I felt that I should mention. Our topic today is about being pregnant and morning sicknesses. Yeah. I know most people, when they're pregnant, it's usually an easy journey. An easy journey, you enjoy it. I mean, every part of it from the beginning to the end. Others probably they don't enjoy until it's their 4th month, because the morning sickness is most of the people, it affects them from the 1st month to maybe the 2nd month or the first trimester. It's called the trimester. Yes, the first one, and then the second one and the third one. Of course, the last one they don't usually suffer, but to some, it's a horrible journey. It's a horrible journey from the beginning all the way to the end. And it's something that you actually do not want to experience again. You don't even want to go back to it again if asked, especially when it's your first time to be pregnant. You actually say that you don't even want to go back to that, although you find yourself going to eat over and over again, the second time, the third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. Woo! Yeah, so I think my journey it was a bad one from the first day to the last day, sorry. So I am the kind of a person who goes through all those morning sicknesses from day one to the last day. And it's such a horrible thing. It's a very bad thing to experience, actually. And those morning sicknesses, I thought they were just maybe 3 months and then I was going to be well, especially for my first pregnancy. So I am not friends with onions, with fried food. I remember I survived with arrowroot and sweet potatoes throughout during my first pregnancy. And we would fight with my husband so much because every day there would be onion smelling and I would vomit. I would vomit and I'm not eating. First of all, I wasn't eating anything. Before I could settle for arrowroot and the boiled food, the githeri, the maize and beans, before I could settle for that, I didn't know what to eat because nothing was interesting to me. Nothing. I didn't have any appetite. I never used to eat anything. I was just there. I was very weak, very weak. In fact, I remember I lost a lot of kilograms because I wasn't eating, and I felt very weak. And one day I actually, siku moja niliamka tu hivi nikaanguka. I think I had gone to the toilet, and then kutoka kwa choo nikaanguka. And so I went to hospital and I was told it's because I was not eating and so I didn't have energy. I did not have, I was very weak. And therefore I was told I had to eat. There was no way I could have something growing in me and I'm not feeding myself. I'm not feeding that person growing, the baby growing, and I'm not also feeding myself. And that's why I ended up falling down, which was very bad. So I settled because every time that I would eat fried food, whatever stew, nyama, cabbage, all that kind of food, I would vomit. And therefore I settled for arrowroots and sweet potatoes and githeri, just githeri, the one that you just put salt and continue eating. So that's the kind of food that I continued eating until now, the 3rd month, when I thought now all these morning sicknesses were over. But alas and behold, they were not over. They continued. The 4th month, the 5th month, the 6th month. I remember even the day I went to deliver, I had vomited in the morning. I vomited during lunchtime. Even when I got to hospital, I was still vomiting. And the water had broke. I mean, I was ready to give, but then I'm still vomiting. So this was a very terrible, it was a bad experience, and I actually didn't think that I would go back to becoming pregnant again because of all this. But one thing that we used to fight with, I used to blame my mom. I used to blame my mom-in-law. I stay with my mother. Up to now, I stay with my mother in the same compound. And yes, and I used to tell my husband that you did not tell your mother not to cook food with onions. Now see, I'm vomiting here. I'm just having those smells of onions. And my husband would go to the mom's house and ask, why are you cooking with onions? You know, now Muthoni is vomiting. Oh, do what? Yes, I'm called Muthoni. And she would go, like, I'm not even cooking. Why are you telling me that I'm using onions? I'm not even using onions. And by the way, let me tell you, we are in the same compound, but we live very far away from each other. My mom, it's a very big compound, so my house is in one corner and hers is in the other corner. So there was no way I can even, smell, unless now she's doing nyam chom, because nyam chom, you cannot hide. Nyam chom and, hiyo harufu ina spreadingi all over mpaka the neighbors. So we fought. Then I realized the smell of onions was coming from the neighbor. It was in the neighborhood. That's where the onions were coming from. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now what do I do? Like, you cannot go to the neighbor. They have their own gate. They have got their own life. I mean, you cannot go telling them that you do not want them to use onions, because how do you control the whole village or the whole estate just because you're pregnant? You understand? And it was a very weird thing, and I had to live with it because they used to use onions every now and then. And because, okay, I was employed then when I was pregnant, and but at the when the pregnancy was 5 months, I left. I left the job because of so many things. Because the company was a small. It was a small company, and again, it wasn't bringing enough income. And again, when a problem comes, or when there's a crisis at the work, the first culprit actually to go is you who is pregnant. Because first of all, I was the receptionist, and a receptionist is supposed to look all happy, all glamorous, all beautiful, and what have you. And because all this I didn't have at that part time, because the pregnancy had really, really affected me. And I'm the one who is sitting there. And there was nobody else who could have sat there, the people that we were working with. Because then they would go to the field and I would remain in the office. So I was sacked, and I left my work at 5 months. And by the way, I felt like a relief to me when I stopped working. It was good for me. It worked for me, because then the smell of the chips all over stopped. Those chips made me vomit and what have you. And actually, I think, yes, where we were at the office, there was a hotel, and the chips would smell from morning all the way to the time that we were leaving work. So I really I really had a very bad experience. Even when I was going to clinics and I'm passing through town, let me tell you, zile vomit nimetapika matapiko mingi huko kwa streets. I know I sound disgusting, but anyway, it is what it is. And I want to help somebody else who's going through this. So pregnancies are not the same. Your experience is not my experience. And even for you who is watching and who has who doesn't have a pregnancy, or who is young, who is not married, who is married and is expecting to be pregnant, because being pregnant for me, actually, it's a miracle. First of all, I got married and I did not become pregnant right away. And to some extent, we started wondering what was happening, because we weren't using anything. And after 1 year, 3 months, that's when we became pregnant. And therefore, becoming pregnant to me is not just anything. It's not like it has to happen. It's a miracle to me. So when you see people pregnant out there, just thank God. If you become pregnant, the moment you plan, like you say, next month, I am planning to become pregnant, and it happens, just thank God, because it doesn't happen to each and every person. There are people struggling out here, they have struggled for years without getting pregnant, and they've been crying. They have done all sort of things. They've been paying a lot of money in hospital so that they can get help, and the help is not coming through. They have prayed to God, they have fasted, they have done each and everything that they can do so that they can become pregnant, and they have not become pregnant. So therefore, if you're one of them who has been becoming pregnant right away, just with a click of like this, and voila, there you are. Just thank God and continue praying for the people who have not gotten this miracle from God. So yeah, that was my journey, and I think my second pregnancy was not very badly off, but the first trimester, it was not good. But at least I was I was able to deal with everything. But my first pregnancy was, I think, the baddest. Don't even go to giving birth. Wacha niwachie hapo, kwa sababu if we go now to giving birth, that's now another topic. I mean, it's another now topic, yeah, because it's a different experience. So there you are. I am happy that I shared this with you guys. Yeah, remember to like, to comment, to share, and to spread love, isn't it? Yeah, I love you. And until next time, it's bye-bye from me. Thank you, and God bless you.